Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel. But honestly, today I am just handing the keyboard over to our resident tired reporter who has been up all night tracking these crazy spoilers and trying to make sense of this massive mess. So here I am, and my coffee is completely cold, but I am still typing because my deadline is screaming at me, and I just have to get all this information out of my head and onto the page. I have been staring at these Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for hours, and my eyes are burning, but we have to talk about Ivy Forrester because things are getting really weird, and I mean really weird. The spoilers reveal that Ivy just keeps getting worse and worse day by day, episode by episode, and it feels like she is just completely losing her grip on reality. And you have to ask yourself, does Ivy have a life of her own at this point? Because it really does not look like it. She has no life. She has no hobbies. She is just existing simply to control Electra Forrester's life instead. And it is so creepy. Like, she wakes up every morning and just thinks about how she can manipulate her niece. It is not normal. It is just not healthy behavior for an adult woman to be this obsessed with who her young niece is dating. But here we are, and the writers are just going all in on this crazy aunt storyline. So let us just rewind a little bit. Let us go back to how this all started, because it started in such a bizarre way. It all started when Ivy suddenly became a massive prude, like out of nowhere. She just flipped a switch. Electra was dating Will Spencer, and they were happy. They were doing what young couples do. And yes, Electra was spending a lot of nights at Will's place, but they are adults. It is normal. But suddenly Ivy had a huge problem with it. She just could not handle it. She started complaining about Electra spending too many nights over there, and she started saying the same thing over and over. Her little mantra, it's not proper. She just kept saying it. It's not proper. Like she was some strict headmistress from the 1800s. And it was just so weird coming from Ivy, because Ivy has had her own messy romances in the past, but suddenly she is the morality police. But she did not just stop at complaining. Oh no, she had to take action. And this is where the behavior crossed the line from annoying to actual stalking, because Ivy stalked Will and she stalked Melissa Dillon. Electra was out of town, and Will and Dylan were just having an evening alone at the beach house, just hanging out. And Ivy found out. So what did she do? She went over there and she spied on them. She literally lurked around and watched them in secret, like a total creep. Who does that? What kind of aunt goes to a beach house to spy on her niece's boyfriend? It is just unhinged. And then she used what she saw. She tried to use it to play God, because that led to her attempt to blackmail Dylan right out of Los Angeles. Yes, blackmail. Ivy confronted Dylan and basically gave her an ultimatum. Leave town, pack your bags, and get out of LA, or else I will ruin your life. She tried to bully this girl into leaving the state just to keep her away from Will and to keep the narrative exactly how Ivy wanted it. But Dylan did not leave. She stood her ground. So that plan blew up in Ivy's face completely. But Ivy is nothing if not persistent. So when the blackmail failed, she just pivoted to her next terrible idea. She exposed Dylan's improper behavior. She ran right to Electra and told her all about it. She twisted everything to make it look as bad as possible. And she did her absolute best to steer Electra away from Will. She planted those seeds of doubt. She made Electra feel insecure and betrayed. And it worked. It put a massive wedge between Will and Electra. But a wedge was not enough for Ivy. She needed them totally destroyed. She needed the relationship completely dead and buried, so there was zero chance of a reunion. And that is what led to the most criminal thing she has done so far, the stolen letter. Because Electra actually tried to fix things. She wrote a heartfelt letter to Will. She poured her heart out. She asked him to meet her in the Forrester showroom so they could talk and work things out. She left it right there for him, and Ivy saw it, and Ivy stole it. She literally snatched it right off the desk. Daphne Rose Walton was standing right there and saw her do it. But Ivy did not care. She just shoved that letter deep into her giant purse and told Daphne to keep her mouth shut. She silenced Daphne and walked away with Electra's only hope for a reunion. And then she took it one step further. Because stealing the letter was not evil enough, she had to really twist the knife. So Ivy planted Will's broken necklace right on Electra's desk. She placed it there perfectly so Electra would find it. And the message was clear. She wanted Electra to think that Will had broken the necklace and left it there as a sign that he was completely done with her, that he hated her. It was such a calculated and cruel move. And it broke Electra's heart. It completely shattered her. And Ivy just watched it happen with a smug look on her face. So now Will and Electra are broken up. Will thinks Electra ghosted him because she never showed up to the showroom. And Electra thinks Will dumped her because of the broken necklace, and they are both miserable. But Ivy is thrilled because her plan worked. And now she is on to phase 2, which is pushing Electra in RJ Forrester's direction. Because Ivy has decided that RJ is the perfect man for Electra. He is safe, he is a Forrester, he is not a Spencer, and Ivy is just obsessed with making this happen. So she is doing everything she can to push them together. She is setting up private dinners for them at the Forrester estate. She is encouraging them to go for moonlight swims in the pool. She is basically acting like a crazy matchmaker. And it is working because Electra is sad and vulnerable, and RJ is right there being sweet to her. But Ivy cannot just let it happen naturally. She has to control it. So she literally spies on them from an upstairs window while they are hanging out. She stands there hiding behind the curtains and watches them. And when they finally kissed, she was right there with her phone. She took a photo of them kissing and she posted it to social media. She shared it so the whole world could see, but mostly so Will could see, because she knew Will would see it and it would crush any last hope he had of getting back together with Electra. And she was right. Will saw it. And now he is moving on with Dylan. He even told Dylan he loves her, and it is all based on Ivy's lies. So looking at all of this, looking at the stalking, the blackmail, the stealing, the planting of evidence, the spying from windows, the taking secret photos, we really have to ask the big question: is Ivy mentally unstable? Because her actions obviously are not normal, not even close to normal. We get why an aunt would be protective of her niece. We get wanting the best for your family. But all this manipulation goes way beyond looking out for Electra. This is not protection. This is control. This is a sickness. And the longer this storyline goes on, the more out of control Ivy seems. She is spiraling. She is doing things that make absolutely no logical sense unless you are dealing with a deeply disturbed mind. And honestly, it is so reminiscent of another major storyline we all remember. It is exactly like when Thomas Forrester lost his mind. Remember that? When Thomas kept secrets and tried to orchestrate every little thing to be with Hope Logan Spencer, Thomas was completely obsessed. He did terrible things. He kept the secret that baby Beth was alive. He manipulated his own son, Douglas. He chased people around. He gaslit everyone. And he even had that creepy Hope mannequin in his apartment that he was talking to. He made manipulative moves just like Ivy is making right now. He thought he was doing it for love. He thought he knew what was best for Hope, just like Ivy thinks she knows what is best for Electra. And ultimately, Thomas ended up needing mental health treatment. He hit rock bottom. His brain was literally bleeding from an injury, but he also had deep psychological issues. And the show finally let Thomas realize he had a problem. They let him hit the wall and realize he was sick. So he made a real effort to correct it with therapy. He went away, he got professional help, he talked to doctors, and he worked on himself. Thomas was previously fixated on having a future with Hope. That was his entire world. And now Ivy is fixated on Electra having a future with RJ. It is the exact same pattern of behavior, the exact same obsessive focus on one specific romantic outcome. It just feels like Ivy is the new Thomas in some ways. She really is filling that role of the obsessed manipulator who thinks they are doing the right thing while destroying everyone around them. So could she ultimately land in therapy and get some mental health treatment of her own? It seems like the only logical conclusion to this story, because she can not keep getting away with this. Eventually, the truth has to come out. Eventually, Daphne is going to crack and tell Carter the truth. Or Dylan is going to feel too guilty and tell Will the truth, because Dylan was eavesdropping and heard Ivy and Daphne talking about the stolen letter. So the secret is out there. It is just waiting to explode. And when it does, Electra is going to hate Ivy. Will is going to hate Ivy. Everyone is going to turn on her. And Ivy is going to have a massive breakdown. And there is a real life reason why this makes perfect sense right now. Because Ashley Brewer, the actress who plays Ivy, is pregnant in real life. Fans have been talking about it for weeks. We all see the wardrobe choices on screen. We see the giant oversized blazers. We see her carrying those massive purses and holding them right in front of her stomach in every single scene. We see her standing behind large plants and conveniently placed furniture. The show is doing everything they can to hide the baby bump, but eventually Ashley Brewer will need to go on maternity leave for her real life pregnancy. She has to leave the canvas to have her baby. So Ivy's B&B exit is coming up fast. And this storyline is setting it up perfectly. Her exit could bring an opportunity for her to find some mental stability again. When the truth comes out and her world falls apart, they can write her off the show by sending her to a mental health facility. She can go away to get the intense therapy she clearly needs, just like Thomas did. It gives her a reason to be off screen for months while Ashley Brewer is on maternity leave. And it gives the character a chance for redemption later on, because right now she is completely unredeemable. But until that happens, we just have to watch her keep digging this hole. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Ivy will make some other rotten moves in the meantime. She is not done yet. She still has more tricks up her sleeve to keep Will and Electra apart, and she is going to keep pressuring Daphne to stay quiet, and she is going to keep pushing RJ to make moves on Electra. So do not miss the bad news ahead for Will and Electra, because things are going to get a lot worse for them before they get better. And I am just sitting here typing all this out and thinking about how exhausting it must be to be Ivy. To wake up every day and plot and scheme and lie, it is exhausting just writing about it. My fingers are cramping. But this is what we do. We track the drama, and the drama is hot right now. Will is falling for Dylan and saying he loves her. But Dylan is carrying this massive guilt because she knows Ivy manipulated the whole thing. And Daphne is trying to make a baby with Carter, but she is stressed out because she knows Ivy stole the letter. And RJ is falling hard for Electra and making out with her in the design office while Brooke and Ridge watch. It is just a massive web of lies. And Ivy is the spider sitting right in the middle of it. But seriously, the Thomas parallel is just too strong to ignore. Thomas thought he was the hero of his own story. He thought he was saving Hope from Liam. He thought Liam was bad for her. Just like Ivy thinks Will is bad for Electra, Ivy thinks she is the hero. She thinks she is saving her niece from a Spencer, because Forresters and Spencers always have drama. Bill Spencer and Ridge Forrester are always fighting. Brooke and Katie are fighting right now over the Logan fashion line. So Ivy probably thinks she is protecting Electra from that toxic Spencer energy, but she is the toxic one. She is the one bringing all the poison into Electra's life and stealing a letter. That is just classic soap opera villain stuff. It is so basic, but so damaging. A letter left on a desk, unopened, unread, and Ivy just swoops in and takes it. And Daphne just stands there. Daphne, who is supposed to be a good person, just lets it happen. Because Ivy is a Forrester and Daphne works for them, and Ivy told her to mind her own business. But the guilt is eating Daphne alive. You can see it in her scenes. She wants to tell Carter, she wants to tell the truth, but she is scared of Ivy. Because Ivy is acting crazy and planting the broken necklace. How did she even get it? She just had it and placed it right where it would cause the maximum amount of pain. She wanted Electra to cry. She wanted Electra to feel worthless. So she would run into the arms of the safe guy, RJ. And RJ is totally clueless. He has no idea he is just a pawn in Ivy's sick game. He actually thinks Electra likes him for him, and maybe she does a little bit, but she is only with him because she thinks Will threw her away like trash. It is all built on a massive lie, and Ivy is just so smug about it, standing by the window, taking pictures. Who takes pictures of their niece kissing a guy and posts them online? It is so invasive. It is a massive violation of privacy. But Ivy does not care because she has no boundaries. She has lost all sense of right and wrong. She is just laser focused on her goal. So yeah, we are definitely heading for a major crash, a massive emotional explosion. When Will finds out the truth, he is going to explode. When Electra finds out, she is going to explode. And Ivy is going to be caught right in the blast radius. And then they will pack her up and send her off to a nice, quiet facility where she can talk to a doctor about why she is so obsessed with teenagers' love lives. And Ashley Brewer can go have her real baby in peace. It is a wild ride, and I am here for it. Even though I am tired and my coffee is cold and my screen is blurry, I will keep watching and typing because this Ivy storyline is just absolute train wreck television and you cannot look away. So stay tuned, everyone. Keep watching the CBS soap because the fallout from this is going to be epic. And Ivy Forster is going to pay the price for playing God